Let's talk about the fall fashion trends of 2024, and I promise I will make it interesting. Hi, my name is Anya and I have a degree in fashion and textile design, and I worked in fashion for a little bit, and today we're gonna talk about the fall or autumn fashion trends of 2024. I did a bunch of research, so I cannot wait to go through the whole thing with you guys, and I promise that at the end there's gonna be an interesting twist that I'm sure you will want to follow up with. So let's get right into it. While I was doing the research for this video, I actually found out something really interesting, and that is that all the trends or all the predictions fall into one or two or even three of these categories. So what we have is English prep, dark romance, and bold glamour. I know, I love these names, they sound so nice. So let me explain a little bit the vibe and the mood of each one of them so that we can understand kind of what we're talking about. So let's start with English preppy style. So you can imagine a lot of very warm brown tones, a lot of knitwear, this beautiful traditional English countryside type of style, something very cozy and homey. I know that people from the US would maybe say European. A lot of the times this style is connected to elegance or maybe to school uniforms, like some of the outfits from Harry Potter, maybe, even though that is a bit more fantastical. A bit of a Peaky Blinder type of thing, like very nice. So since now I kind of explained the mood, you probably understand or you know where I'm going with what is gonna be trendy, and it's kind of considered going into this style. So anything tweeded, blazers, cable knit sweaters, pleated skirts, plaid coats, leather gloves, anything like that. Let's move on to the next one. The next one would be the dark romance, and I love this one also so much. It's a bit of like this lace and dark florals, sheer layering, maybe a bit of this beautiful velvet. We can picture dark, muted, rich colors layered up with different fabrics like lace, and playing with the sheer materials, having some see-through moments with some beautiful skirts and dresses, something very feminine and very delicate but still a bit dark and mysterious. I think it's a very nice combination, and I love some of the pieces that go into this style. And the third one, the last one, would be the bold glamour. And simply put, the bold glamour for this season is just like an upgraded mob wife type of fashion. So if we knew what the mob wife was last year, a lot of animal prints and leather and like this big chunky jewelry, during this season we still have all of that. We have animal prints, we have actually some really interesting texture with a fox fur, we have some statement jewelries, we have some leather, some metallics. So I think it can be this very nicely rounded style, and it can be very playful and you can be very creative with it, but I'm just personally not the type of person that would fall into this category, so I don't think I will be taking a lot of inspiration from this one. So now that we covered all three styles, let's look at some of the overall trends that are regarding all of these categories and are not about a specific one, okay? For example, the main color of the season is this burgundy red, this beautiful berry red that is really rich, it's a bit darker and moodier, which makes it perfect for fall, and I absolutely love this color. But next to this red, we also see a lot of greens and khakis and some browns, and while we're talking in the neutral spectrum, we also have a lot of grays. And me personally, I really love this color palette, and I think it's beautiful and it really suits all the styles that we just talked about, so I'm really excited to see what is going to happen in the next few months. The next thing that all the styles are gonna be incorporating are the flats or the ballerina flats in all different shapes and styles, and each one of these styles that we talked about have a little bit of a specific ballerina flat, and it's so beautifully done, and I cannot wait to show you when we talk about the specific style a bit more of what is happening and what the designers have been presenting in the fashion week. We're gonna see a lot of double denim. Now denim is always in fashion, so of course it's not a surprise to be there, especially for the fall. But it doesn't go into any specific category, it's just there as a statement and as something that you can wear with absolutely everything, and it's always elevated, especially during this season. Doubling it up, so making a denim top and a denim bottom, is something that we're gonna see a lot, so I think that is really nice. A bit of a western cowboyish type of thing that maybe we can put into the English preppy style, maybe English preppy with western, I don't know, anything like that. We will also see a lot of layering, and what I mean with that is with different materials, different textures, different colors, so I think that is gonna create a lot of very beautiful effects. We're also gonna see a lot of ultra high necklines, and of course that is super nice during this season, and I think it will provide a lot of comfort and coziness and safetiness, which is just so nice. And I can really imagine a beautiful knitted sweater with a big chunky high neckline. Anyway, you will be able to see this in every style. And the last thing that is an overall trend is a cropped jacket. That means cropped jacket in leather, cropped trench coat, cropped quilted jacket, anything that you can think of, cropped, shorter, kind of between the hip and the waistline. It will look so beautiful, and also the tailoring is not as wide anymore, but it's a bit more closer to your body. And I think it's really nice how we have seen in the past how we went from something that was really close to our bodies in around 2010s, and then it went out and everything was really baggy and really loose and very comfortable, and now we see it coming a little bit more back to the body but still not super tight. So I think this is really nice balance where we have still some of the fits that are very loose, but also some of the ones that are a bit tighter and show the silhouette a bit better. So I really think this is beautifully, and especially for a women's silhouette, this is gonna be great. Oh, I actually forgot the last thing that of course all the styles are gonna have, and those are the patterns. So in each of the styles we're gonna see a specific pattern. For example, of course, the elevated mob wives, the bold glamour style, we're gonna see a lot of leopard and a lot of animal print. For the romantics, we're gonna see a lot of dark florals, and for the English preppy style, we're gonna see some checkers and some plates. So of course the patterns overall are very present, but we're gonna talk about the specifics in a bit. So now that we went through an overall picture and we also defined what each of the style is, let's talk about each style in a bit more depth, a bit more specific, so that we can understand and see what type of pieces we're gonna be wearing in each one of those. Of course, we can mix and match. We can take a piece from the English preppy style, mix it with the romantic style, which I think is something that I will personally do, but you can mix all of them together and create something a bit more unique and personalized to you, which is the beauty of fashion, to make it exactly as you want it. So let's get right into it. So the first one, the country preppy style, here I have written actually the country, house chic, and prep school is something that we can also kind of connect this style to. We will be seeing a lot of plate, as I already said, and that means plates in jackets, in pants, in tops, in a hat, anywhere that you can see it, you will. Of course, we will be seeing a lot of knits in different shapes and sizes and colors and textures, and that is gonna be really fun. We're gonna see a lot of wrapping, and that means oversized scarves and capes and sweaters and kind of everything that you can think of that's gonna be a bit bigger that you can wrap around, and I really love that. As I said before, in this style we're also gonna be seeing some beautiful blazers that are probably gonna be tweeded, and of course that cropped jacket that I also already mentioned. And now that we talked about it again, I really like how all of this looks and what the feeling of this style is. I think it's absolutely great, and I am really excited to incorporate some of that into this year's wardrobe. Now the next one is of course the dark romantic style, which, like I said before, we can take some elements from the preppy style like the wrapping and put it into the romantic type of situation with some beautiful caves. It can be very mysterious and very feminine, also with different knits. If the knitting type is a bit more delicate and a bit more refined, it can be a bit more girly and feminine, and that way it goes into a romantic, dark romantic category. But the next one, we also have the inspiration of the era of 1960s with a lot of femme and this retro femme that we're gonna be seeing. In this style, it also goes some of the transparent and sheer materials like we said before, maybe some lace. Here we can also detect some boho elements because of course they're very feminine and very delicate, and it goes perfectly into this style. We will have some more puffiness and volume, especially in the dresses and skirts and maybe some sleeves. And of course, which girl doesn't like ribbons and bows? And we have already seen that trend kind of coming in, but now in the fall, of course, is the perfect season for these types of accessories. So I'm really loving it, and I think it will look so beautiful. And for the last style, the bold glamour, as we said before, we will see a lot of animal print, different cat animal prints, some leopard pattern. I think it's gonna look really nicely. We will have some fox fur that can be used in a jacket or a coat or just in a sweater or just as a part that elevates the whole outfit. We will see some, it's called luxe leather or liquid leather, that has this very shiny type of look, and we will have this material in all different shapes and sizes and clothing. You can see it in coats and dresses and skirts and tops, so absolutely everywhere. This style can also include some chunky jewelry or some elongated jewelry, some long necklaces that will be very beautiful, and it's also in the trend for the fall. And I think that that kinda wraps the whole thing up. I think that that is it. I think we covered everything, and now let's talk about that exciting part that I mentioned at the start, which is if you are like me and you don't want to spend a bunch of money on these trends that are happening and they change with each season and they can be very hard on your wallet and very bad on the environment and society, and you want to be a bit more sustainable, you can join me because in the next few videos I will be actually making some of these pieces for the fall from scratch for myself. So I will be sewing them, sketching them, making the patterns for it, and making tutorials so you can follow along on the journey. And I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to do that. I actually made a vow or a promise to myself that I'm not gonna buy a single piece of clothing in the store for this season, and I will just make everything by myself and only wear the clothing that was handmade by me. So I'm really excited for that challenge, and I hope you join me, and I hope you are encouraged to also try a little bit of that, because I think that this way it's gonna be a bit more sustainable, it's gonna be fun, we're gonna be able to tailor it to our preferences and make it exactly as we want, and we will be creative, and it just brings a bunch of really positive things that I'm really excited about. So I will see you in the next video where we will try to do that. Bye!